Hi everybody, happy holidays. Leo says hello. He wanted to come up here and see what was going on. So hi Leo. Today we're going to paint cookies for Santa, right? You've been a good boy this year. I bet all your pets out there are going to get some great presents this holiday season. So what I wanted to do was leave some cookies out for Santa because I know that's what Leo wants to do. And we're going to use a palette of pastels to paint cookies for Santa. Am I boring you? Before we continue though, please subscribe to Art on the Creek if you haven't done so already by clicking on that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell too so that you'll always know when I launch a new tutorial or a product review. Of course, if you do enjoy content like this, make sure that you give it a like, leave a comment, or share it with your friends. If you'd really like to take your art skills to the next level, I would encourage you to consider a membership with Art on the Creek. When you're a member, or patron of my channel, your membership includes an extensive library of tutorials covering drawings and paintings of a variety of subjects, not just beautiful Colorado, and also in many different art media. You'll have full and unlimited access to an ever-growing members library of tutorials and reviews, as well as the opportunity to receive guided feedback and critique from me. And also, you'll have direct input into which art technique or medium you'd like to learn more about as a member, as well as access to free art supplies. All of that and more is included in your membership, and it's all very conveniently right here on YouTube. There's a link in the description below that will go over all the membership details. But if you still have any questions, just ask me in the comments and I'll be sure to help you out. Now, let's move on to today's subject, shall we? I am using my Holbein pastels. These are watercolor. And the first 3 rows here are pastels by Holbein, and then I've added some other Holbein watercolors in addition to some other brands. I will list the colors that I'm using. As I use the colors, I'll either put it up in text on the screen or I'll list everything down below. I've got this Arches watercolor journal here, and I'm just finishing it up. This page was resting against another page that had some pastel on it, pastel pencil, and it was pretty smudged. But you know, guys, it's a sketchbook, so this is where we can just have some fun and let things like that go and not even worry about it. So if you've got a dirty page in your sketchbook and you can tap or rub a kneaded eraser on it and get most of it off, still good paper, you can use it. All right, I'm using drafting tape to tape off the edges here. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. I've got an idea in my head. I am going to go with a photo I found on Unsplash. It's a picture of Santa Claus holding a plate of cookies, but what I really like was not Santa so much, but the image of the mittens and the cup and the plate and the cookies. So I thought for our series of little festive holiday paintings here on these Saturdays, we could do cookies for Santa. So there we go. That's taped off good enough. And let's start by drawing. I have the picture pretty much zoomed in, so I'm really going to focus on this mitten here. And to do that, I'm looking at shapes. I'm kind of blocking in shapes. So this part of the mitten is round right there, and then it's got kind of a wonky seam that comes this way, and I've got a little bit of fur around here that I can add because it's Santa after all, and this is holding onto a glass. There we go. Much better. So this is actually the edge of the glass that's toward us. Hopefully we can get that to make sense when we're painting. Pull that down here. And then the milk has, of course, the glass rather has a bottom to it, like so. And the milk is just about level. It's about like that. And let's see here. We need a thumb. We need a thumb for Santa. That's kind of a funny shape here. It comes out this way, And then down here it's kind of like a soft diamond shape in that big old mitten. And we'll just get rid of our little glass line in there. There we go. And the seam on the thumb is going this way. There we go. There's the seam on this, and the mitten's coming down here. And then we've got this fur comes up here. This is where the base of the thumb is hitting. And it's going to come up just this way, like so. So that is Santa's right hand holding a cup of milk. I need to get rid of this little line right here. There we are. We got the fur down here. And then his beard is in here. I'm going to leave that part white, but let's go ahead and add our plate of cookies. We've got our plate. I have serious plate fear. I never feel like I draw plates very well. So I'm going to just say, do your best to make a fairly flat ellipse. And actually, in fact, I'm going to bring that up a bit because I want Santa's hand to show a little bit more. We're going to move his left hand up a bit. So let's put that mitten in first, shall we? We're going to go on the underside of the mitten like so, and there's some wrinkles, so we're coming up like this. There we go. And then we've got his thumb. And there's that fur. So this is the plate here. The plate's going to come out this way. Yeah, that helped. And then let's put some cookies on there. Oh, we'll put this one on top here. There we go, 3 cookies. And then he's got some nice little creases and dents, not dents, but folds of the fabric under here. So here's one hand, here's the other hand, and then his beard is going to come up and just fill this part. And over here we'll have our tree and greenery. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. That's this vision in my head. We got clean water. I have a paper towel. And we're going to have some fun with this one. So let's start off with a number 12 round. And what I'm going to do is just go into some clean water and just really, first of all, I'm going to pick up some of these lines here. Sorry, that was a little darker than I wanted that one. Okay, with clear water, and I'm just going to slap it on here and kind of going around the edges, particularly around his mittens. Because what I want to do is really have some fun with this. So, okay, the brush that I'm going to use for this today is a number 8 Silver Black Velvet Round, and I'm going into that Mission Gold red. And I'm just going to fill in the mittens, and I want it to escape the boundaries of my lines. So I went ahead and added that water there, so hopefully it will find a place to travel here as the painting goes on. Now I'm leaving some space open because I don't want all of it to show, to be completely, completely taken over. There we go. Now let's go in and get this next one here. And this is the one under the plate. And his thumb up top. Okay, now I'm going to go into the Holbein watercolor Mars Violet. And that's what I'm going to add the folds and shadows with. So just still going wet into wet here. Filling in the darker portions of Santa's red mittens. And going in under here, creating the shadow under the glass and the crease. Where the seam is there, we'll do the same thing here. Okay. A little bit more there. All right, now let's go into some of the Holbein pastels. I'm going to start with the Horizon Blue, and I'm going to do a real thin wash of it. So in this Horizon Blue, I'm going to start and put in some of the shadows of Santa's beard. And I've still got a little bit of that Mars Violet on my brush, and that's absolutely okay. I kind of like how that's putting in those shadows. Really want to leave some white space. And then down here below, let me get a touch of the Mars Violet and some of that Horizon Blue. And we'll get that really watery. And I'll do the same thing for the shadows here of his beard. And I'm just going to kind of play and put some of this in the beard up here. A little bit more of that Mars Violet. Now we want the same sorts of shadows for the fur on his mittens. In our reference photo, it's white, but I'm going to go with kind of a gold fur. So let's go into the quinacridone gold, which is a very lovely yellow. And now I'm going to add some of this perylene maroon. I just want it to look kind of like that sable fur. Yeah, that's a good color. Real thin wash at first. And I don't want that red to creep in there, so let me just tap this just a little bit. And I'll do that one again. We'll go into the quinacridone gold and the perylene maroon. There we go. Fill in that base color a little bit. Now what I'd like to do is I'm going to turn this sideways. And I'm going to go into the green earth over here. And we're going to start filling in some greenery over here, just where the tree might be. And now let's do some great Christmas lights on it. We've got this opera rose. Just going in and putting some dots here and there. Some of that quinacridone gold. Quinacridone gold usually likes to spread a bit, so that's a nice one. And then we're going to mix some of that green earth with the Mars Violet and get a real dark green going. Okay, there's our tree for now. Now let me come back into this opera rose and we'll fill in a little bit of these white spaces. There we are. Some of that dark green to fill in this little corner here. Perfect. Let's see. I do want to get this dry first, and we'll just make sure this is completely dry before we go on. All right, now let's work on that pine bough a little bit. Back into the green earth. Let's add some quinacridone gold to that so we can get it a little bit lighter. There we are. And now we're going to just work on making this look a little bit like pine boughs. Just adding a little bit of interest here and there. Okay, now go back into that green earth and we're going to add some of the red to it to make a really nice deep green. There's the green earth, and we'll go in with the red that we use for Santa's mittens. We're just going to darken that up. There we go. There we go. We don't want too much, just enough. Now let me clean my palette off here. Back into that horizon blue. And just a touch of that Mars Violet. And let's go in and define Santa's beard a little bit more. Let's see, we'll start right about here, I think. All right, now for our plate. Let's see, we can give the plate a little bit of texture with some of this green. This is the composed green. I'll put a little rim around the edge of the plate. And then I'm going to take my wet brush and just pull that in a little. around the cookies. All right, we'll fill the cookies in here in just a moment. Let's take a look at his mittens here. First of all, I think I want to add a little bit more red to them. The red is so intense. Water that down just a little. And let's just kind of finish this line off here. I like all the backgrounds, but I just wanted to make sure that I got everything defined enough. And back into that Mars Violet. I really like that color. There, that just helps define that just a little bit more. Now we'll dry that one more time. Okay, now for his fur. Let's go into that quinacridone gold, just plain as is. And let's just put a wash of that over. There we go. We can let that dry for just a minute. And now for the cookies. Let's see, what color can I use to make some cookies here? I've got this Perylene Maroon. That might be nice for some gingerbread. Or something. We'll put the edges on the cookies first. And then I'll paint this up here with water. And let's come into that quinacridone gold. And where's my indigo? There we go. That'll have to work for now. Now for the glass. So what we want to do here is create a border of the glass. Let's try going in with this Compose. You know what? No, I like this one. The It is this one, and it is called Verditor. Sorry, Verditor Blue. We can get the walls, the outer walls here, and a little bit of the inner. And I'm going to just go right in front so we can see through this glass to the tree. So that's right there. And then we've got the milk. So this is going to be a very light version of this blue here. Go around the back and just on the front of it. Like so. Still got some blue on his thumb there. I guess that's his palm more. Base of his thumb. All right, now let's take a look at the fur. I'm going to go into this same Mars Violet. And I'm going to splay out my bristles like so. There we go. And we're just going to do a little bit of fur. Like that on Santa's mittens. There. All right, what do we think of these cookies? I think they're good. For what we have here, I think that's how the cookies are going to have to work. Now what I want to do is go in with some bleed-proof white and put some highlights in on the milk glass. So let's make sure that's completely dry. What I'm noticing here is I need a little bit of quinacridone gold down here. There we are. All right, we're going to switch over to a very small brush. I think this size will work. A number 1 would be just fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix more of this gray that I have here from the Mars Violet and this blue that we were using. It is the Horizon Blue, kind of a turquoise blue, and that Mars Violet. I want to get a nice gray. There we are. And with that, I'm going to just go along the bottom line here. Just darkening this up a bit. And then we'll go in between it here and over here, and just a little bit on the edges of the milk. Okay, now we'll go into our bleed proof white, which is over here. This is something I recommend that everybody get. It's sometimes the gel pens don't work quite right or what have you. This one is the best by far. A lot of people like P.H. Martin's, but I've had better luck with this one. And now we're going to just stick some highlights here in the rim of the glass. So very lightly I'm going around. And then I will put another one down here, trying to stay so I'm inside that thickness of the glass. And that is it. We have cookies for Santa. Let's go ahead and use the heat tool. I want to make sure that I wipe off this tape. Sometimes I end up touching it and then I touch my hand somewhere else. But okay, we're going to remove the tape. So you take your heat tool, make sure everything is dry, and you're going to pull away from the center, but you're going to pull away at that 90-degree angle, perpendicular to the edge of your paper. Because what you want to see is this angle right here. And that 45-degree angle will help you get that tape off without ruining your paper. Now this is Arches paper, really good quality. Usually tape doesn't stick to it at all. But you know, nothing's impossible. So I always use a heat tool when I'm removing tape. And there you have it. There are cookies for Santa. Let's make sure we sign it. You guys should sign and date all of your work, no matter where you are, even if it's just in a sketchbook, because you're creating this book that that people can use to see what you did when you did, that you can use to refer back to. Remember techniques. Sketchbooks are great. I'm going to call this one Cookies for Santa. There we are. Hope everybody's getting ready for Christmas or whatever holiday it is you're going to be celebrating this winter, and take care.